Yes, okay, great. I'm audible, right? Properly, it's like there's no lag, right? Visible, so yes. Okay, great, 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 great. Okay, so just give me a moment now. Uh, Generate one more folder. Maybe. Yeah, okay, so now we can start. See, basically, in yesterday's class, we left to the point that arrays are basically reference type, right? Arrays are basically reference type. Let us see what does it mean and how we can like see it in our code as well. So first, let us write this point again because this is important. Is that arrays are by default reference type. Now, what does it mean? It means like if we create an array using a let, then what happens is like let's assume this is my array. Ignore the bottom chunk. Ignore this. Let's assume this is my array. So, zeroth index, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Right. There are a few values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right inside it. Let by let I have declared an array named as ARR1. This is pointing towards here, and we know that our let declaration can be like manipulated, it can be changed, but the const cannot be, right? But in the case of declaration of an array using const, you can also change the values inside it, right? You can change the values inside it. Now, what I mean is, let's assume I'm having this is my memory chunk, right? This is a chunk of memory which I have in my computer, my compiler, wherever you want to say. Let's assume I have created this memory using let, right? Then what happens is I can uh, I'm having the values right now as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to change, I'll simply select the indexes or simply like assign it to like if array1 is equal to is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I can do it like array1 equals to 2 comma 3, right? Let us see first this. Let us all see first this. Right, I found one now array method. Let's do one thing. Let us make an array named as ARR1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have this array with me. I want to see this ARR1. Then yes, I'm getting it. Now I want to like change the values of ARR1. I'm changing it this way, right? Now, if I'll ask for the value of ARR1, then it will point towards that 7, 8, 9 elements because this like ARR1, which was having 5 elements initially, is now overwritten. Like it's overwritten by the one which we declared in line number this, where ARR1 is being given to that 7, 8, 9 array, right? So it is being overwritten. But let's assume I'm creating an array using a const. Name of my array is array2, and I want to give it like somewhere. I want to give it like string one, and after that I want to give it a number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Right? If I'll check out my array2, then what I can see is yes, I'm getting all the elements along the string as well as the number. Now, if I directly switches this way, like if ARR2 is equal to array 1, 2, 3, and that's it. This is not possible because you are assigning a constant value to something, right? But in case of using indexes, let's assume I want to change the value of my second index, right? Is equal to let's say 111, right? String 111. And if I'll again check out my array 2, then see the second element of my array, which was earlier this one numeric one, not the string one, the numeric one, 0, 1, 2, right? Sorry, yeah, this numeric one that is on the index of the array 2 initially which we created is now being replaced by string only inside it. So what we get from this is I either be like using const or lit. I can change the values. I can change the values inside array, or I can add the values, or I can add the values. Uh, just make you see that adding values as well. Let's say I'm adding my ARR2 on the 10th position. Hardly matters any position. As I would say, it's 0. Then see, you can see like before 0, there is like 4 empty spaces because I directly gave the index of 10. Before 0, that is on the 10th index, we are getting 0. But before that, four slots, or I would say 4 buckets were empty. So that's why it gave 4 buckets are empty. Now, if I want to like uh, use my indexes thing to assign it with some value, I would say, let's see, buckets are empty, and I can assign. But this thing is not possible. That directly towards the const declaration is not possible, right? So what we get from this is we can change the values, uh, and only restriction to us is it's using form which let the compiler change the value, change. Uh, I guess there was a like network issue. Am I audible now? To acknowledge in the chat box. Yeah. Am I audible now? Yeah, there was a like a network issue earlier. Just tell me now, is my voice also breaking? Abhishek, is my voice also breaking? Okay, audible. No, I'll just like switch within a minute to check is my screen lagging or not. Just let me know if the screen is lagging now. Okay, just let me know. Okay, so therefore use index method or use indexing, or we also call it as substring, indexing or substring. I guess this is clear. Now, what I mean by this is like I have a chunk of memory. I have this chunk of memory with me. Let's assume I have declared an array with declared an array is the array is being created. Like, is it still is it okay, or the screen is still lagging? Just a second, I'll switch my net now. Let us try now. I'm audible now. Voice is clear. Voice plus screen both lagging. Okay, just tell me about. Right. Just tell me about now. Is my voice lagging now? Is there a lag in with my voice? Clear voice now. Okay. Let us see this example again. Right. I don't know. Like, was it audible to you? But okay. See, I can change the values inside my array, or I can add the values. And only restriction to us is using the const, which cannot let the compiler change the values directly. I would say change the values directly. Therefore, we use indexing or substring. Was it lagging? No, no, sir, clear and visible. Okay. I guess now internet is stable, right? So what do I mean by this statement, right? Let's assume I have a chunk of memory. This is my memory inside my computer, right? And I have declared a variable using const. Let's assume my variable name is array one, and I'm having 1, 2, 3 as a value inside, right? Now, this const declaration is being done this way, right? This const ARR is pointing towards a position inside my memory wherein an array is stored. Let's assume we can have more values, right? I'm just writing this way. I'm having a place where this const array is pointing, right? This is where it is pointing. If you will change this const array, like this was my const array, right? 1, 2, 3. If I'll change this array with some other values like 2, 3, 4. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to assign this constant variable ARR to some other new array according to the compiler, right? We are trying to make one more array, and wherein we are making this 2, 3, 4, and this ARR will now be pointing here, which is not possible because once you declare a variable with const, then it will just simply point towards one place. You can manipulate, add the values inside this array because your array is still pointing, your const array is still pointing towards this place only, right? Towards this place. So you're not changing the address to it. Address is not changing. You are only changing the values inside the array, which is like very much possible, and like that is legit possible. Like you can change values. But if you want to change the reference this way, if you want to change the reference of your array, the compiler will see that okay, you initially declared this ARR variable using a const declaration, and now you are trying to assign it to a new position. This is towards a new pointer, right? This is let's use my new pointer, new reference. So this will not be allowed in the case of const, right? You can change and manipulate the values inside it because the address is same here. Address is same in the case of this case, but the address is not same in this case, right? Or I would say this case. So that is why you're not able to directly assign the values of like directly change the reference to my const declaration. Is it clear now? Was it like still lagging or was it clear, right? Was it lagging or was it clear? Please acknowledge now. Clear. Okay. Clear. Great. Clear. Great. Okay. I understand you guys like took time to text, right? Okay. So now we'll be like moving towards the array methods, like array methods. So one of the first method which is present with us is slice. Let us first jot down all the methods which we'll be like starting. Slice, splice, uh, join, or I would say splice, join, and concat. Nick, concat we studied, I guess. Split. Uh, okay, let's start with this first. Like these are the array methods which are present with us. Well, there are more array methods. Let me just find and let you know. Concat is there. I know about concat and okay, reverse and includes. Yeah, includes is there and reverse is there. I guess these are enough. Includes and reverse, right? All these are my array methods. Just for your syllabus kind of thing, I would say. If you want to study it yourself as well in school, just study from this, right? We'll be learning about slice first, right? And I'll be directly using my, just a second, I'll be copying it up and pasting it in the file. Said about arrays are reference types out this way. Okay, now we are learning about array methods. That is our slice. Cool. Uh, okay. So let's assume I was having an array ARR. I don't have it. I'm creating an array. Let's say I'm making an array of ARR. I'm making it like okay, I'll make it this way. Right. This is my ARR array. If I'll search out for my ARR, then I'm getting all the 9 elements which are here, right? Uh, what I want to do is I want to use my slice method. What slice method does is, let's see, ARR dot slice. If I'll simply use the word slice, then it will give me the entire array as it is. But if I want it to start from a point, let's assume I want to start it from the SAM, right? The third index, which is present there, the string SAM. I'll give it a index of 3. See, now it started with the third element, that is SAM, and it is like going towards the end of the array because you have not given the termination index there. And if I give it like let's assume 6, then it will move towards the right side of the array, that is like for sure towards the sixth element only, right? Sixth index only. The second argument in the case of slice is also the index, and also it is not inclusive. The second argument is not inclusive in this slice. So I am getting my slice as in I'm able to skim off my values which are present inside my array using this slice method. Now, if I want to see that is it a destructive or a non-destructive method, I'll simply check for my array. Then my array is not being affected by it, right? So this slice method is not, I would say, a destructive method. This is not non-destructive method. Right. Now, what I want to do is I want us to give it a slice method again, like slice method. But this time, I want to interchange the positions of my large element with my smaller element. Like in this case, the swapping does not take place, right? When we learned about sub SCR, right? At that place, the swapping was taking place, right? If the higher element is on towards the right side, and sorry, higher element is towards the left side, and lower element, lower index element towards the right side, the swapping took place, right? But in the case of slice, this does not happen. The swapping does not take place, and after the sixth index, it finds that where will this third index end? So that will not be able to find the third index because it's not present towards the right side. It is present towards the left side, right? So that's why it is giving me an empty array. And again, if I want to give it a slice method again with the, let's say, negative elements, then let's see what happens, right? I would say -5 towards uh, let's do this slowly, right? -5. Then if you want to see something like we are getting it, we can getting the values Nagarro, Aditya sir, undefined null, as well as the array which is being produced there. And how this negative is being treated in the case of splice, right? Let me just give an example this way, right? Let ARR is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And if this ARR dot slice, really sorry, this is dot, please ignore the size of the dot slice. I want to give it a slice from, let's say, 2 to 6, my positive number. This is my second index, third, fourth, fifth. I don't have sixth, right? Even if I would have written 8, then it would have just directly looped towards the end index and ended right there, right? So it will go towards the end, like just checking is the sixth index included or not. Yes, it is included in 8. So it will print me the value still 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is a non-destructive method, NDM, non-destructive method. Right, so non-destructive method. Now, what if I want to give it a slice of negative index, right? Slice of, I've written just -5. Right? Then what am I getting is, uh, I'm getting 2, 3, 5, 6. I'll be getting this, just assume I'm getting this, right? How does it happen? Like, let's assume this was the array which I created. I created it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you give negative index now, the negative index starts moving from this position, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5, -6. You gave it a -5, right? So it will touch like it'll start moving from the right side because of the negative index, and it will find your index which you gave it the value, you gave it -5. So this will be the first index which will be encountering, right? And after that, it will loop towards the right side until the condition is there. Since there is no second argument, there is no second condition, so it will go towards the entire, it will chain towards the entire array. So that's why we're getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But let's see, if we are having like array of slice with a negative index of 5 and negative index of I would say 3. What happens? Then it will start from 5. It will start from 5. That is my second element, -5. It will go towards this and it will go towards this, right? Let us see this with an example as well. Array dot slice, right? Array dot slice. I'm giving it a -5 index and I want it to be till -2 index. Let's see, right? What is my -5 index? Array1 -1. The array which is present here is -1. Null is -2. Undefined -3. Aditya are -4. Nagarro is -5. So yeah, I'm getting the first value from Nagarro, that is -5. Now I want to move towards the -2 side, right? This is towards my, I will definitely go towards my right side. Since this is -4, yeah, this, okay, -4 is there. Undefined is -3, it is also included. But is -2 included? No, -2 is not included. Why? Because the second index is not included because it's like the termination condition which is not generally taken apart, right? So in this case, if I go this way, then 2 will be the option. Then I'll get -4 as an option. But since -3 is there, which is not being included, then this is the only array which I'll be getting. Now, what if I use my -5 and -6 sign? Then again, sorry, -5 and -6 sign. Then again, array will do towards the right and will not be able to find the -6 index anywhere here. So that's why you'll be getting an empty array. Let's see this way also. I will give it a value of -6 and see I'm getting an empty array, right? And if I give it a positive value, right? Let's see here as well. If I give it a positive value, let's say instead of -6, I'm giving it a value of, let's say, 5 only. Let's say I'm giving it a value of 7. Then what happens is it will start from this Nagarro -5, this Nagarro -5, because the starting condition is this only, and towards the 7 places, right? Towards the 7 elements. But since the 7 is a positive number, then it will be like included from this position 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 is not included, so it will move us towards the 6th index that is undefined. So that's why we are getting Nagarro, Aditya, and undefined. Right. Hope so. This is also clear. And if I use it this way, I won't say I will use this way, then I'm getting my answer as -5 is 2, so 1, 2, and 3. This will be the array which I'll be getting in the case of my negative and positive. So similarly, you can iterate over the things by switching on the indexes and give it a try, right? By switching the indexes like -5 to some other number, either positive in front, negative in front. So you can try slice method this way, right? Is this clear? Yeah. Is this clear? Slice method is clear. Like it's a non-destructive method. If I directly go back to towards my ARR, then I can see that yes, all my indexes and the values are there are still intact, right? Clear? Is that clear? Clear, clear. Great. Okay, let's move further then. Wait, was it the previous message? Sorry, I thought it was clear in the previous message. Yeah, it's clear, right? Now it's clear. Okay. Okay, just clearing my, I have to copy it first, right? I have to copy this first. I'll get there. Now let's move towards the splice method. Splice method is little confusing, so keep that in mind, right? So what does this splice method do, right? Splice method, it generally like accepts 3 values also. It accepts 2, 3 values, both the values. 3 values are accepted. 3 values are also accepted. This case, right? So ignore this line right now. I'll explain you what happens there is. I'm assuming let my ARR is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let's say 10 also. I'm having this. This is my ARR array, right? Now I'll simply use my splice method. Like if I write array.splice, then what will happen? I'll give a starting index. Let's assume I want to start with my fifth number, this element. So this element is present towards my fourth position, right? I'll simply write the index of 4. Right? Now I'll tell the how many number of arrays, how many number of elements or how many values I want to remove from my original array. Like how many elements I want to remove from my original array. Let's assume I just want to remove 2 elements, right? This is the number of elements, right? Number of elements. And if I talk about this, starting index. Okay, so let's first see this way. Right. I want to make an array like ARR, which is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right. I can check out for my value ARR. And yes, I'm getting 10 as my array. If I want to use ARR dot splice, not slice, splice, then I'll give it a starting index. I want to do it from the fifth number, right? So fourth is the position there. And I just want to remove 2 elements, right? Let's see. Now, what it gave me, right? It gave me 5 and 6. That is 2 elements out of your entire array. Let's see what is like effect on my original array. Then if you will see, my original array length is being reduced. 8, earlier it was having 10 elements, now it is having 8 elements. Why? Because this splice method took away 2 elements that is starting from fourth index, and after the fourth index it started, it will take 2 numbers out of there and hamper is my original array as well. So just remember and keep in mind this is a destructive method. Destructive. And this needs to be used very carefully. Destructive method. Generally, it's very dangerous to use splice method, so you have to be like little conscious before using it. Right now, I said that my array can also accept 3 values. Right. If I go and check back my original array, then okay, I can see my original array as 8 elements. Right. Now again, I want to start with my next 4 only. Now I don't want to delete any of the element, right? I don't want to delete any of the element. I'll simply do like this and I'll come back, right? And if I'll check out my array, then it is same as that of my earlier position, right? Same as that of my earlier array. Why? Because I have not deleted any of the uh, number, any of the values present inside my array from fourth index. But now I want to add few values, right? I want to add few values. That is, I don't want to delete it after the fold index. I want my 5 and 6 to be back, right? So I'll give this comma and I'll simply write the values which I want to add. Let's assume I want to add my 5 as well as I want to add my 6, right? Let's see what happens. I give it a press, enter. If I check back my array again, oh, I didn't use a splice method, right? Sorry, I didn't use my splice method in both the cases. Just a second now. Let's try it again. Like array dot splice, right? Array dot splice. I want to delete 0 element from my array. That too starting from index. This bracket is also wrong. Start to starting from my index 4, right? Let's see this. Uh, it is giving me empty array because nothing is being removed from my original array. If I want to check my original array, then yes, the original array is same. Let's compare this original array with my this original array, right? So they both are the same, right? Now, what if I want to add back my 5 and 6, which I extracted because of this splice 4 comma 2 method? So what I'll do is I'll simply add on to my splice method only. Array dot splice, right? Array dot splice. Fourth is the starting index. Number of elements I want to delete, that is 0. Now I want to add different values. Let's assume I want to add my 5 number here. I want to add my 6 number here, right? 5 and 6 here. If I press enter, then it is not splicing anything. It is not removing anything from my original array. But if I check out my array now, then yes, you can see the length of array is being changed. And on the fourth, after the fourth index, 5 and 6 are being added here. added here back. Why? Because I've added this 5 and 6 here. If I would have added, let's assume 5, 6 again, like I'm doing the same operation again, right? Then let's see what happens. If I go back and check my array, then my array is increased again. How? Because both the operations are like being performed twice. So this 5th and 6th has been added 2 times here because of this splice method, right? So let me just copy this first. I'll be pasting it here. So keep in mind, if you want to add elements also in your array, right, you can use the value splice. For that matter, again, starting index, number of elements you want to delete, number of elements to be deleted, right? And this is the values to be added. Like there can be chaining, there can be anything here, right? This inclusive everything is of values to be added at the position starting index, right? The values will be added after this index, right? After this index. So after this starting index and so on, right? Let's see, can we do both the things together? Let us see that way as well. Uh, I don't want to redeclare it, so I'm saying it this way. ARR is this. Right. Now I want to check, can I do both the things together? That is, I can delete 2 elements and add my values as well. So let's see. Starting index is, let's say 4. I want to delete 2 elements from there. 5656 will be deleted. 156 will be deleted. And after this 156 will be deleted, I want to add a string, some string here, right? I want to add, let's say, Samarth here. I want to add, let's say, Nagarro here. And again, I want to add internship here. Right, I want to add this internship as well here. Wrong choice of braces, so let me just correct it here. And array dot splice. Right, array dot splice. Let's see. It is extracting. That is it. It is skimming off my 5 and 6 values. Why? Because I've been giving it let's say starting index of 4 and number of elements to be deleted as 2. Right. If I see back my array, then see I'm having one more element. Why? Because I deleted 2. But I added 3. So that's why the overall length of the array is being changed to like increased by 1. And instead of this 5, 6, now I'm getting the summer, Nagarro, and internship as well. Right. Hope so. This is clear to you guys. Like there is no issue with this. Just coming back towards your screen. Is it clear? Is the slice and splice method are clear and the difference between them two? Like one of them is a non-destructive, one of them is destructive, and the destructive one you can add the number of elements in this way as well. Is it clear? Are you clear with splice and slice method? Clear with slice and splice method? Clear. Chalo. Great. Done. Great. Okay. Then let's move on to our next method. That is
सर
a spread method. Just a second. I'm coming back. Yeah.
सर
Tell
आपने
me.
वो एक एरे और वो कांस्टेंट एरे में बताया था कि वो रिप्लेस हो जाती है जो वैल्यूज,
Values, right?
तो सर आपने वो कौन से वाले एरे में बताया था कि साइज सेम ही रहेगा, बस वो वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट हो जाएंगी?
साइज सेम रहेगा, वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट, लाइक क्वेश्चन एक बार फिर से बताना.
सर जो एरे वाला पोर्शन था जो स्टार्टिंग में किया था अभी,
ओके, ये होगा हमारा आरे वाला पोर्शन, राइट?
तो सर शायद इसमें कांस्टेंट एरे में था कि साइज सेम ही रहता है, अगर हम वैल्यूज चेंज करेंगे तो डिफरेंट वैल्यूज उसमें रिप्लेस हो जाएंगी.
नहीं, साइज सेम नहीं रहता. सी दिस वे, let's assume I'm declaring this one more array as array2, as I'm not giving any size, like we don't give size in JS, right? Let's assume my array is 1 2 3 4 5, right? Okay, I want to give my first index. Let's say my first index has a value of Samarth. If I check back, sorry, I gave it const, right? I need to give the name of the array. So const array2, right? Now, if I check my array2, then yes, I can change the values as well. But at the same time, if I want to give it like an index of 7 here, let's say 7, which is equal to my, what's your name? Your name was Abhishek, right? Abhishek. Then I can check my ARR2 again. There are two empty spaces, and Abhishek is also being added towards the position wherein I have like added your name. Like, see, size of the array is not fixed. Either you are using const or either you are using let, right? The size is not the issue in our case. It's just about directly changing the reference of that array. That is the issue. Like, hope so. This is clear with you, Abhishek, right?
Yes,
Was
sir.
this your doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Cool. Now we were about to study about slice method, split method, sorry, split method, right? Let's see what happens is, I'll directly show it with an example. That will be a better way. You want me to copy this as well, then I can copy and paste it towards your array section. Uh, yeah, towards your array section, just in case you guys want to give it a check. Also, yeah, split method. Uh, let's assume I'm having, let's say, uh, having a dialogue, having a dialogue. That dialogue is equal to what can be the dialogue? Ek chutki sindoor, right? ये dialogue तो सबने सुना ही होगा. Uh, right. Okay. So if I click onto my dialogue, then yes, I'm getting this back. Uh, Now I want to like break each of my this. I have a dialogue, right? I want to break each of my dialogue. I want to split each of my words whenever there is a space inside it, right? So what I'll do is I'll directly use this. Just a second now. Huh. Okay. What I'll do is I'll directly use this dialog. I'll use my split operator, my split method. I want to split it. Why? A space, right? Wherever there is a space, split it along with that, and like give me the entire things which we get after splitting them, right? Now, each and every element that was there inside my dialogue, which was being like differentiated with the space. Now they all have been assigned towards a array and like basically split towards the array, and we can get all the elements that are present there with me. Like, let's assume I'm having a URL, right? I can also have a URL, right? My URL is like https://google.com hyphen search question mark is equal to name as Samarth, uh, percentage, let's say percentage 20, and I'm using any random value, right? Uh, Password is equal to what, like not this, password is equal to 123, and then I'm basically ending up my string, right? If I check out my URL, then I'm getting this URL in front of me, right? Okay. So now I want to split this URL on all the places wherein I am getting this slash, right? So I want to simply split this using the slash. So I'll be giving it an argument slashes, like split it towards the slash element. I'm getting all the elements separated, like all the elements in an array, which are being separated through a slash, right? Just simple method, like not a big thing to use or not will be used generally, but just you should know it. And we also have something which is opposite to it. That is, we can also, I would say, we can also join these. We can also join these URLs, right? Let's assume let's say I'm having the same thing, but I'm saving it somewhere. I'm saving it in Sam. Let Sam is equal to. I'm saving it. Just a second. I split and save this with my let variable as a SAM, right? Now, if I check for the SAM, I'm getting this as an array. Now, I can also join this using any of the parameter. Let's assume I want to join this using a plus, right? So if I'll see, then all the places wherein my like slash was there, I joined all my like elements or values which are present inside my array Sam, joined with them a plus, right? If I want to simply see my Sam again, then Sam is like this only. And if I go to I'll go to my Sam array again, Sam dot join. I want to join it with, let's say, with these this arrow, right? I want to join this with arrow, right? So I can see that all the places which have been like which were separated or which was there present in the array is now being attached or connected with this arrow kind of stuff, right? So I guess this join and split methods are clear to you, and like these are like quite basic things, so don't dive deep into them. Just have a taste of it. Like join is there, split is there. Use it whenever needed. Generally, what you want, right? So join and split method, and I would say join. Just a second. Join method. These two methods are there, right? Like I guess so. I guess this was clear, right? This was pretty easy and clear. You can split the things, you can add the things, and the array like it will be stored in the array only, and you can like take the values from the array and like join it after that. The way you want to join it, right? Also, join is done like which all method you were starting, right? Split may is like simple. Just for your reference, writing it here, like let array is equal to one, not this. I would simply use the string. Uh, the best place to live is home. Right, the best place to live is home. I'm giving it a string, and if I want to use my split method, I'll simply use it a split of, I would say, split of space. We'll be getting an array overall the best like this, and then after this answer is there. You can have like you can store the answer of you can store the array in a variable answer. Now answer dot join. You can use answer dot join. You can join it using any of the variable, and you'll be getting the output, right? So this join and the split are clear. These are easy. Don't spend much of time in it. Just get the taste and move ahead. We are done with the four methods or five methods. I'm not sure. Slice is done, splice is done, join is done, split is done. Okay, now we are moving towards our concat method. Let's see what this concat method does. Earlier also we have done this concat method, but just again, uh, any doubts? Let me just check. Is anyone written any doubt? No. Okay. Again, I'm having an array. What was the name of my array? Let's say ARR. But okay, there's nothing present now. I'm creating an array. Let's say again, ARR is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, I'll be making one more array that is let uh, anyone's name, right? Anyone's small name. Uh, uh, Mohit. Mohit is a good name, right? Let Mohit is equal to uh, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mohit is equal to 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, what I want to do is I want to add both the strings one after the other, right? I want my Mohit to be added after my array, right? I'll simply go use my ARR dot concat. This concat will also be like accepting the values. This concat will also be like uh, accepting one array or something which you want to like add over it. So I want to add my Mohit array here. So I'll simply press and enter. So we can see that both the arrays which were initially like different, now they are enclosed in one after the other. And if we'll see the original array, then original array is not hampered. So this is basically what's the name? Concat, right? This concat method is basically non-destructive. What we basically do is we are basically making two arrays. Let's say ARR1 and let's say ARR2. I'm having 1, 2, 3. I'm having 5, 6. And if I like simply use ARR1 dot concat and I add the value of ARR2, then it will simply show me the answer of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an inclusion of one, right? Just a one inclusion. Just keep in mind the thing which you add towards the back side, like towards the ending side, will be present here, and the string or the array wherein you want to add, like which will be the initial place that will be added here. That is the initial start, and this is the ending, right? Ending elements here. Ending elements. Right. Cool. So if we'll see with an example, one more example, let's say I I want to concatenate it not with any string. I want to concatenate it with a name summer, right? And I can also like add direct values rather than concatenating it with let's say an array, or I can also directly write things like, okay, I want to add one, three array here, or I would say Sam this side, right? So I can directly give it an array inside it. I can directly pass the variable name wherein the things are present, or I can directly add a single variable. Like this is all we can do with this concat method. The concat method is basically adding it towards the end. So whatever will be given towards the right side or towards the right side, that will be added. Concat method, simply check this out. Any doubts still this here? Any doubts with the like one cat, join and split thing? Like, these are like quite basic things and easy one. Like if we directly go to our uh, array methods MD, right? Right. Array JavaScript. So herein you are getting this concat method. There are like filter, find index, right? These are all the different like methods which are present with us, or I would say these are different possible ways which we can use it. And of course, go to MDN and you read out the stuff. Okay, I need to tell about includes and reverse as well, right? I guess I forgot to mention here. Have I mentioned? Yeah, includes and reverse are also there, right? Okay, one cat is done. Uh, I'll simply first start with the includes, right? This includes is like something which can be useful to you at coming time. So let's just read about and know about includes. So let's assume I'm having an array, right? I'm having anything. Let string, or let's say let array. Hello, how are you? Any random string I have added here. Like I've added an array. Let's assume 1, 2, 3 array of 8, 9, 10, or I would say a string here, and I would say Nagarro. Anything I can do with this, right? Now I want to check that is my how present in my string as well as in my array or not. How we can do it? Uh, right. I'll make an ARR equal to 1, 2, 3. Let's assume after that I'm having subvert. And after that I'm having 4, 5, 6 as an 4, 5 as an array. After that I'm having Nagarro. I can do anything, right? This is my ARR. And also I'm having a let. I'll say string. My string is hello, how are you? Kana, okay, Chana. Right. Right. If I check out my string, then yes, I'm getting the string as well. Now I want to check that is my string including of a word, let's say R. Like, is my string having that R keyword or R word present inside my like box or not? So I'll simply give it a value of includes. What I want to check in it, I'll simply write it inside. Oh, sorry, I gave it a wrong name, right? That's why. String dot includes. What you want to check, that is it including or not? If you want to check like, okay, is the R present? Again, the spelling of string is wrong. Is my R present? Then it is saying yes, the R is present, right? The R is present there, and let's say R is there in my string. It can be anywhere, but it is there. Right? And if I want to check like, is that AR doubly present? No, the AR doubly is not present. Now, if I want to check that if my AR is present, then it will say yes, my AR is present, and this basically returns me the value true and false. That if is it present, then it will return me to true. If it is not present, it will return me false. And like if you want to uh, check it in my where what's my second thing array of, I would say array dot includes. If my array includes, let's say value 4, right? Is my includes 3. My array name is ARR and includes the right. If I want to check that is the 3 element present inside my array, I would say yes, it is present. And if I want to check that is the string 3 present inside my array, I will say no, the string 3 is not present. If I want to check that is my string Samarth is there, Samarth array is present, then it will say yes. If I'll check for SAMA, then it is like saying the SAM is not present because this is not considering it like different elements. It's basically the same string also only, right? So the summer it will give me false. Now, if I want to check that is my array inside my element is present or not, right? Is my array inside the element is present? Why is it showing false array dot includes? Can we check for different values? No, we cannot check for different values, and neither we can check for the entire array which is there, right? So this is not possible for the entire array stuff, right? It is giving false value. But if I want to check that, let us check this for the string as well. Like, let's say my string, let's just a second, index of is index of ARE. Am I getting it? Right. So we can basically, if you want to know about the place wherein this element is being started or this element is being present, so we can basically make use of index of. Same will happen with the array as well. But like, let's assume if you are having a like array 4 and 5 inside the array only, then it is like difficult for it to understand things and not find it out right then, right? So this is how you can make use of includes. Like you have basically includes will work on your string parts. Basically, when you will be working in the future or coming to the future, this includes will be for the string part, and getting a string is there or not, it's pretty easy, right? So if I'll further includes, then I think we paste it right there, and yeah, pasting the output here. Includes is done. Yeah, one more was there. I just keep forgetting the name, right? Reverse. Oh, do one thing. Just study about reverse from MDN. Like study about reverse as well as the other methods present inside. Let's assume study about includes as well. Study about all the above from MDN. Also, if like these were the important one, these were generally that were being used. The filter one will come later, so don't worry about the filters right now. Filters and map will come later. So just check out all the properties of like all the methods from MTN, and like do give it a read from there, right? Reverse, we'll study from there, includes again, and all the above methods which I told about arrays. And filter and map will be covered in the later classes because that is having some concept also behind it, which need to be like understand with the examples with some particular shows, right? So that's why I'm not covering it right here, but it will be covered pretty soon, right? So okay, let's do one thing. Let's take a break of like 5-6 minutes. I need to like have a tea break. I'm a little sleepy today, so let's get a break of 5 minutes and then we'll continue back. Right, just 5 minutes and we'll be starting back again with the next topic. Right. So I okay. There's nothing much to like See, so just wait for 5 minutes. We'll be like joining back again, right? Hey, Okay, so I guess we can start back again. Right. Cool. Hmm. So the array methods are done. Just give it a look from MDN, right? Let's move on to our next topic. That is our objects, or I would say JavaScript objects, right? This is something which is important for you to understand. So try to be with me and get the concepts and the basics little clear, right? So if you remember that in previous lecture, I said that everything inside JavaScript is an object. Everything inside JavaScript is treated as an object. Is treated as an object, right? Now let's know and let's learn what an object is. Treated like an object. Let us see what an object is basically. So and how we can make it, right? So okay, let us know what an object is first, right? What an object is. Object is also a data structure. I would say object is basically a data structure. DS stands for data structure, which is like unlike we read about array, right? Unlike array, because array is ordered, right? So this I would say this object is not an ordered collection. This object is basically an unordered collection of data structures, right? This data structure which is unordered, right? So this is little different than that of little unordered, little different from that of array, right? Unlike array. Why? Because the way we give input in the array, they appears to be in the same side. Like if I give one and then after two and then three, and they'll be like appearing one after the other only. That's why they are ordered. But in the case of objects, if I give them their key value pair, just ignore this value. If I give them some value inside it, it is not necessary for it to be in the same order. It can be in any order, right? It can be in any order, right? And secondly, uh, objects basically in JavaScript is basically a collection of properties, right? Objects are basically, I would say, collection of properties. Now, two question arises that what is a property and like how we use them, right? Like what all can be the properties, right? Property basically is a key value pair. Key value pair, right? Properties basically are key value pair, and they can be of any type and anything, any type, anything, like any type. They can be of any type and anything, right? Just keep in mind that your objects are collection of properties, and what do you mean by property? A property is basically a key value pair, and it can be of any type. Forget every other thing. Just remember it is a key value pair. Now let's see how we can create properties there, right? If I make a new folder that is JS objects. Inside my JS objects, I'll be making index.html. I'll be making right h1. We're learning about JavaScript objects. Then we basically attaching my. Never forget to like attach your files. This is also the mistake which I commit many a times, but try not to. Right. This is how we do it. And wait a sec. Why am I making it inside it? Right. It's index here. Right. Uh, this, this, uh, this, this. I'm removing this the unnecessary fields which are open, right? Hey, how many are there? Leave it. I'm not doing it. Okay, so we are on index.html. Basically, we're learning about JavaScript objects. So we'll move on to the JavaScript objects and we'll be going towards our console window, right? How we basically create objects, right? Let's assume I want to use how we basically create an object, everything which we use is having a name, right? So initially we are also giving it a name. Let's assume we are having person as a name. Person as a name right there, right? Now, the person like this will be something like a variable kind of stuff. Now, what is it having? It is having some properties. What are properties? Properties are key value pair, right? Properties are key value pair. What is that key value pair? Let's say I'm having a person is can have name, right? This is my key. The name is my key. What that name is? What is the value of that key? I would say the name is Samarth. Okay, I can have more than one property, right? I can write more than one properties, but I need to separate them with a comma first. Like this is how you have to do it. Separated with a comma. Let's assume I'm having age as well. I'm having 24 as my age, right? Okay, let's go further as well. Let's check out with the variable is adult. Am I adult or not? Uh, then true, I am adult. Then like this basically is known as how we create a object in JavaScript. Everything has a name, so that's why this object is also having a name, that is person. We can use the properties inside it by accessing the variable, right? Providing it with the equality sign and then curly brace up and down. Right. So we can have different properties also inside it. One is the name, having the value Samarth inside it. Age is one more property, and the value to that key is 24. Is adult is my another key, and true is the value inside it. Right. So let's see if I want to access this person, I'll simply write person, and then you can see that I've been given few parameters and few, I would say, uh, like the few properties are like shown in front of me, that the name is Summer, the age is 21. And if you see it properly, right, I told you that it's an unordered collection, right? I gave name first, I gave age then, and then I asked for is adult. But according to like the preference which is being like shown here, according to the property, the age is being shown here first, is adult is being shown next, and name is being shown towards the right, right? So this is how we call it an unordered data. That's why basically we call it unordered data. So let's assume I want to access my name from this person, right? I want to access my name. Can I use it just by using this just name as my index? Like we can access it like arrays, but how? Let's assume that yes, we are able to access the like the properties inside my object like an array, like we give it an indexes, like just by adding the key. But right now I'm not able to get it. Like why is it not there, and how will we able to get it, right? So there is a small concept behind it. Let me just copy paste it from there first. Let me just copy this from there. Right. This is my object. These are my properties. This is my key, and this is my corresponding value. Right. Just remember one thing. The object which we are making, the object which we are like making here, uh, we can access the values of it like the array. Like we can access values. We can access the values like arrays. But there is one thing you need to keep in mind. I'm writing a terms and condition asterisk sign. A terms and condition is that all the keys which are present inside my object, right? All the keys, they are not stored just in this way. They are basically behind the scenes. What the JavaScript engine does is JavaScript engine, like we have keys, right? JavaScript engine converts all the keys to string and then store it. And then store it with the corresponding value. With the corresponding value, right? So that's why when I was trying to access it like just the name, I was not able to do it. But if I'll simply write this name inside my string, then yes, this string is now being accessible because all the keys, this name is my key, and this age is my key, this is adult is my key, all the keys which are present there, right? They are being converted by the JavaScript engine, by the browser, uh, in the form of string, and then now it can be used like an array method, right? Also, I can access for the values of, let's say, age. If I want to if I just access the age, simple age without converting it into a string, then not possible. But if I just convert it into a string age, then yes, it is able to find the age of me there. It is able to find strings there. So yeah, basically it's because the key are basically converted into strings. So that's why it is being like treating it is treated this way, and it is shown up this way, right? Is this clear how we declare a object and how we can basically form the functions? Just coming back to your screen, right, in a moment. This is how we create an object. Like this is just basically the creation. Is the creation of the object is clear to you guys? That how we create things. This is how we can create an object, right? Simply inside the curly braces, give it the values, and in order to access that object, you need to have a name, right? You will definitely call someone by the name. So you are giving that object equality or assignment to some name. So that's why you can access the values inside it. So it's simple, right? Now, just like my arrays, my objects are also reference types. Objects are also reference type. Writing same as arrays so that after reading this line, you will get to know that arrays and objects both are reference types, right? Okay. Objects are also reference types. What do I mean by reference types and all? Let's see with an example. Right? Let's say I want to make an object. Let's say I'm making an obj. Let's say obj1 as uh, what all I can. I can give many things. Let's say in my object one, sorry, I can have a name as anyone's name here, Abhishek and Shruti, right? I'm having Abhishek and inside my let obj2, let's assume one name first. Like let obj2 is equal to, I'm saying obj1, right? Okay, then if I'll search for my obj1, then yes, I'm getting Abhishek as the name inside, like name as Abhishek in my object one. But if I'll go to my object two, then see, I'm again getting Abhishek there only, right? So what basically is happening till now is that I'm having a memory. This is my chunk of memory, right? I created an object obj1 and I created an object obj2. Inside my object, I gave it a key value pair of let's say name was Abhi, right? Name was Abhi. Cool. Now I simply assign this obj1 towards this obj2. Now basically what is happening is in my obj1, this is my obj1. This obj1 is having some reference, right? This is also having some addresses. This is being like saved over the address. Now I have changed, like I've created one more obj2. Now this obj2 is assigned towards obj1, right? So the reference to this will go to obj1 again, and now the values which are present inside this obj1 are being copied towards obj2, and we can access it using obj2. Now I want to check, like, can I change my obj2? Obj2, let's say I'm accessing it using a name. Can I change it to Shruti was the name? Yeah, Shruti was the name. Can I change it to Shruti? Okay, let us check for obj2. Then yes, now the name is being changed with obj2. If I see my obj1, then my obj1 is also changed. Why? Because by default, objects are also reference type. That is, if we are assigning objects equally, like object is 2 is being assigned to object 1, right? So this like this value is not assigned. This basically reference towards the uh, entire chunk, or I would say the reference to that entire block, entire object is being provided. or you can say that this obj1 is the same name, or maybe that the nickname of that obj2 and vice versa. So these both of these things are like reference, in reference with each other. If you will change this, this will also be changed because they both are having the same reference because of this line which is being written, right? So the reference is the same. That's why a change in obj2, like change in one, will lead it to change in two, right? Will lead to change in two also. So just remember in mind that objects are also reference type, so you need to play with them little carefully, right? Is this clear? Like, where is my code? I'm just. Is this clear with you guys? Objects are also reference type, right? Clear? Clear to all? Okay. Okay. Great. 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 Uh, so basically, I would say the changes can be reflected in both the objects. So yeah, these are reference types. So clear, yes, sir. Great. 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 Let's look forward for small things like loops also inside it. Let's study about loops. Uh, in normal programming languages, we do have for loop, while loop, and do while loop, right? Uh, but in the case of JavaScript, we have more such loops, such as for off loops, for in loops, for each, and like there could be many stuff, right? We'll study about basic of for like loops are something which are quite basic, and I assume that you guys have some knowledge. So we'll be learning about these two and basics of for. Then that is enough for you, right? So how we basically can use the loops, right? So we see that uh, let's say for I want to count till number 10, right? Let my iterator, I need to give it an iterator, right? Of course, let I is equals to 1. How we can do it? Like I has to be less than equal to 10 because I want it to be just count towards numbers from 1 to 10, and simply I'll give it a value of I plus plus, right? So if I'll do it this way, I'll ask them to console.log the values of I. Let's see what comes. I'm getting all the numbers from 1 to 10. Why? Because I've used this for loop. Like just replace that int the way we used to do in C++, right? Replace this int with a let because of course we have no data types there. The data types can be manipulated very easily. So that's why you need to declare it with let. But again, for example, if you would have declared it with a const, so uh, this could not have been possible because this I is declared with a const and now you are updating I, which is not possible in the case of constant declaration. So that's why only one time it is being printed and not showing the results after that. So just be with let and simple make a loop out of it, right? So this is how we can make use of for loop. And let's say, uh, let's make a condition of some infinite loop. Like let's say my I is equal to 100. Let's say my I is equal to 100, right? Let's make infinite loop with while, right? Let's make it with while. I am having while stuff. Okay. Let my number is equal to let I is only the number, right? Is equal to let's say 50. And I want to check that jab tak mera, that is while my number I is less than 50, less than I would say less than 40. Let me write less than 40, or I would say this will not be entering the conversation, right? My till my I is greater than 40, right? I want to do something. What I want to do, I want to let's say console.log the value of my I, and I need to update the value as well. So let's make it. Let me change the condition from 40 to 0. Let's make it like, see, I've not updated the condition, right? So that's why it is giving me infinite loop. So I need to close the browser now first. Just a second, now my browser will be hang because of this infinite loop. So we need to check it out once more. Right. Uh, let is equal to this, and while my I is greater than 0, I want my loop to basically console me why this happens with every time, right? Console dot log the value of my I, and after that simply um, give I equals to 10, like dividing I equals to 10. It's possible. Let's see what happens now. Uh, just a second now, my browser is hanged, I guess. It is not working. My inspector is not working. Let me reopen it. My browser got hanged. No, it's good. Uh, let I equals to 50. Again, it is taking time, but it will be worthy, right? If I go for this, right, then I'm getting some values. They're like huge and huge number of values. That what happens is basically, I'm basically getting the value of I initially, while I is greater than 0. Okay, works. So dot log I. It is like reducing the value. 50 turns out to be like 5, and after 5 it is like descending, like keep on descending with e value, right? So it is like it will move towards the end unless you will find that the I is having the value greater than 0, right? And if I want to do the same thing, but this time I'll not divide the stuff. If I'll definitely simply remove out, right? Okay, now my I is already been changed. Let I again be equal to 100, and if I'll do the same stuff, and let's see, I'm getting 10, 9, 8, 12, like all the numbers with a gap of 10 digits, right? So now I'll give you a small question. I want the answer from you guys about the basic loops so that I'll get to know that you guys know about loops or not. Let me make it this way that, for example, my I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to 5. This is you guys need to answer me in the chat box, right? Just in the chat box, tell me the entire answer. And I plus plus, if I go it this way, and I'm doing the chaining, right? I'm doing it nested loops inside it. Now again, I'll go for let's say let my j is equal to 0, and j is also less than equal to 5. Uh, j plus plus, okay, works fine. Now I also give one condition. If my I is equal to my j, then console dot log. What do you want me to console dot log? Let's say I'll console dot log both the things I comma j, and if it is not the same, then let's do one thing. Let's break it here and let's just a second now. I'm just trying to change the question so that it can be easy for you. Uh-huh. I don't like writing codes here. That's why I'll write my code in my app.js and I'll simply copy paste it from here. Right? For I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I J works fine, great. Okay, tell me the output of this code, right? This is the code. You guys need to tell me the output of this code, right? I'm pasting it right here as well. And I'll, array, yeah. Right, tell me the output of this code. Just take 1 or 2 minutes and tell me the output in the chat box. I want this output from everyone, right? So that I can get to know that how strong is your basic concepts with it. It is 30. We'll discuss the answer in 32. Like take 2 minutes. Don't run it over your compilers. Just try to give it a try run and think about what will be the output. Don't run in your computer side. Just give it a try run with your own like pen and paper or whatever you want. Just give it a try run. One more minute left, guys. Try it early and submit the answers in the chat box only so that others can also take their time to discuss. Nandini, I'm sure you copy pasted it from your compiler because the way you have written, it's like the same way the compiler will write. Cool. Uh, Great. Most of you were able to do it. Yeah, I can see. Archit, your loop is running one time more because I've started the index, I guess, with no, I've started with 0, right? Great, great. Uh, okay, let's see what our output turn out to be eventually. Let's see it in our browser. Like we'll go back here and check out our console window. And let's see, the number is starting from this to this, right? From 1, and this is the answer basically. Now check it yourself that how many of you were able to give it the correct answer, and like few of you were not that accurate, but yeah, most of you are. Uh, Dipanshu is just saying 1-1, or maybe he would be like writing in different sections, right? Most of you were right, and except 1-1-1 all will get printed. Pratik didn't make the effort to write the code. He simply said, except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all will get printed. But it's great. It's great. Most of you were able to do it. Uh, I don't think so. There is like a big logic behind it. It's simply like, okay, I'll start with my I equal to 0, right? It'll check j equal to 0. If I equal to j, yes, both the states are 0, then 0, comma 0 will not be printed. Why? Because this break is being written. Break is being written, will go out of the most innermost loop. It'll go towards again my top loop, and now my I will be equal to 1. I equal to 1, j equal to 0. Are they equal? No, then it'll be like printing out 1, comma 0. Great. Now inside the j loop and incrementation of j equal to 1. Now I is 1, j is 1. This if condition satisfies, loop breaks, 1, comma 1 will not print it. And again, this loop will break and eventually turn it out towards the endmost position. Now I is equal to 2. Now again, I equal to 2 and j equal to 0. Now this 2, comma 0 will be printed because I is 2 and j is 0 back again. console.log this one. Again, increment because of j loop. Now the value of j is turning out to be 1 again. 2 comma 1 will be printed. Why? Because this if condition is not satisfied. 2 comma 2 is there, but it is satisfying the condition. Therefore, the loop will break from the innermost position. And after breaking from the innermost position, it eventually again goes back towards the outer loop. And now the value of I is 3. Value of j is again 0. So 3 comma 0. Similarly, 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2. And then 3 comma 3 will break. Then 4 comma 0, 4 comma 1, 4 comma 2, 4 comma 3. Just assume the commas here, right? I know I'm not writing. Assume the comma. 4 comma 3, and this 4 comma 4 will also break. Then 5 0, 5 1, 5 2, 5 3, and 5 4. These will be printed, and again this 5 comma 5 will break the loop. After breaking, it will go towards the top. Then after the increment, I will be equal to 6. It will check the condition, is my I less than equal to 5? No, the I is 6 now. So therefore, the termination of this loop will take place, and only these will be the outputs which will be shown in front of you, right? So hope so. This is clear. That was not. You guys are telling me the answers, right? I hope so. Now the thing is clear. Now the flow of code is like visible to you guys. Nesting is like not a difficult thing, but you just need to give it a try and shot so that in order to get the correct output, right? So do give it a try run every time rather than just trying to see the output from the console window, right? Okay. These were the basic loops like for and while. But if we are like entering JavaScript, then it is very important for us to know about for off and foreign loops, right? For off and foreign. For each we'll do some other else, or you will like studying it on your own. For off and foreign are important. Why? Because there is a very small basic difference between them. So let's just know it about first. See, if we are having iterable objects in like we know that our array is iterable. Our let's say our map, our vectors, our lists, like we have these data structures with us, right? Our list, all these are iterables, right? These are iterable objects. These are iterable objects, right? So all those iterable objects, they're having some values inside. Let's assume we're just considering array right now, right? Inside my array, I can have value 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 4, 3, and 6, 3, right? I can have these values inside my array. Then I can iterate it using the substring method like array of 0, array of 1, and array of 2, right? This is basically called iterable objects, right? So those objects which are basically iterable, over them this for of use is used. Just learn about for offs now. We'll see how. Let me like paste this towards your app.js file as well. Right. Why is it showing 56? Let me try to write. Okay, I'm just commenting it out. Ignore this app.js 56, right? Ignore that. And ignore this code as well. This is the output of above question. Right. I'm learning about for outputs. I said that if I'm having an iterable object, then I can uh, use my for of loop. Let's assume, yes, I have an iterable object. My iterable object is array. If I'm having an array, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I want to also go for Samarth. I want to go for Nagarro. I want to go for, I would say, I want to go for some decimal numbers I can do. Inside my string hardly matters, right? This is my array. If I check out my array, right, this is my array, right? I can't check out because it's not in console. I'm having an array like this, right? Now I want to iterate through the entire array without using my like for basic for or basic while or any of the loop. Like I want to iterate using for of loop. So what I'll do is I'll simply write it as for. Like the syntax is almost the same. The only difference is just the word. I would say let. I want to give it a variable, right? We give it a variable of I equal to 1, I less than 10, right? We give a variable, right? In a similar way, we'll be giving it a variable. Let's assume I'm giving it I only. Let I, that is a iterator, inside that is in my array. in my ARR array, right? I is my iterator. Just a sec. Here it will be happening, right? For loop, for off. Really sorry, not in, for off. For off. Really sorry for that. For let, that is the declaration of my iterator. My iterator here is I. Off, that is for off loops are used to iterate in an iterable object. An array is my array which I've created. Just console.log the values of my all the iterable objects, right? Let's see what happens. If I save and go out to my window, then yes, I can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Samarth Nagarro 12.45 is visible, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Samarth Nagarro and this 12.45 is visible. I can also like redeclare this array as, let's say, r is equal to 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Right. And again, I'll use this for of loops and let's see what happens. Again, I'll be using this for of loops. Right. Let's see now after saving what happened. Right. Initially, it gave me the answer this because of the first iteration and the uh, in this array, in this first array, ARR. Now I've changed the ARR to this. And now again, if I'm doing the same thing, then I can also get the different array which is being manipulated using this let functionality and using this ARR, right? So this is basically whenever we are iterating inside an iterable objects, and iterable objects are basically arrays, lists, and maps, and let's say vectors and all. So maps and arrays are important for you guys. Map will be covering later. So assume just for the array right now, and we can use it with a for of loops this way, right? This is for your for of loop, right? This is for your for of loop. Uh, Now let's talk about for and loops, right? Let's talk about for and loops. Let's not assume this is basically made to iterate the objects. This is basically made to iterate objects only, right? Let's assume we are making object. I made an object, right? To iterate my object, I can use directly this for and loop. Okay, I can use this loop. Then how can I use it? Let us see. Where firstly I'll be creating an object, right? Let's say I've created an object with a const person only. Person is equal to, let's say it is having a name, it is having a age is 24, person is somewhat, and I guess that's it. I made an object, right? If I want to iterate inside my object, then the array indexes won't work because we know that it is being like changed to the string, right? uh, by default, these keys are being manipulated by the JavaScript engine and will be like converted into strings before storing it, right? So that's why we make use of this for in loops. So what I'll basically do is I'll make up an object first. I'll say let my person object is equal to my name as I'll change someone else's name. I'm not. Uh, I say Vaibhav Sharma is there. Amisha is there, right? I'm using Vaibhav Sharma's name. Vaibhav Sharma is there. Now, I'm assuming this age of Vaibhav is 22. I'm just assuming. And let's say Vaibhav Sharma is adult. I'm saying true. Vaibhav Sharma is adult. And favorite color of Vaibhav Sharma? Let's say Vaibhav Sharma really likes black a lot, right? Let's say he likes black a lot, right? This is my object, which I've been like created. Now, let's say I I want to like make use of my for and loops, right? Again, for I'll use the variable. How I'll be using the variable? I'll simply creating just like I used to create in normal for loops. Let I, but not off this time. That is inside my object. Let I iterator inside my object. And what is the name of my object? My name of object is the person. What do you want to do? You simply like console dot the values of I, and let's see what will it give us. Like if we console like the value of I, let's see what will it give us. For let I in person, console.log I, and I guess this is enough to check, right? If I'll check and go back to my browser, then you can see we are only getting the keys, right? This I is only giving me the keys, that is name, age, is adult, and favorite color, right? It is not providing me the values. So I don't want to get the keys, right? I want to get the values corresponding to the keys. right? Let's assume I want both the things, right? Then how we can do it? I'll be using my string template literals now, which we studied in the previous class, right? So I'll be simply using my string template literals, this tilted single inverted comma. Now what I want to say is, let's say, um, uh, uh, I'll be directly using the indexes. Like this is my index, uh, and I'll be assigning it with this keyword that okay, uh, I that is my name, that is my key will be given to the value. What will be the value given? This will be doing using the array method, right? What was the name of my object? Name of the object is person, right? Inside the person, I want to check for the array, for the index there, right? It is a similar way we used to access it in arrays, right? Similarly, we can make use of projects object as well. Let's see what we are getting the output now. So if you will see it now, my I is getting the values corresponding to my uh, values which are being given as the key value pair, right? So this is how we basically make use of our string template literals. And I just told you that we can access objects also like array. So the array that is the iterator, the iterator which is like correspondingly present right now. Let's assume my I is pointing towards this name. So tell me the value which is present inside my object array with corresponding to this iterator, right? So it is giving me the array this way, right? So I hope this is clear to you guys that why we were getting initially just the key. That key was because the iterator was pointing towards just that. Uh, the iterator was just pointing towards the keys only, and in order to get the values, we need to make use of like array kind of substance stuff, right? So this is how we can access the values inside my foreign loops, foreign, right? Is there anyone who is having any sort of doubt in these two loops, for of and for in loops? Foreign loops are done just for the objects. For of loops are done for the iterable things. Like for example, we have maps and we have arrays. In the coming classes, we'll definitely be getting a big hands-on on all these things. But just for understanding purpose, I guess this for of and this no doubts. Okay, so this for of and this for in is clear with you guys, right? Others also please acknowledge in the chat box. Right? This is like something very basic, and this is like uh, which we'll be using further. So just to give it a taste of things. So that's why we started about for of and foreign, right? No doubts, all clear till now. All clear. So that's pretty great. And if everyone is clear with the concepts, and that's pretty great. Okay, what you guys need to do is just if you are having problems with the loops, just learn about these three loops: for of, foreign, and for each. Go to MDN. This is basically homework for all, and these are for those who are facing difficulty. Go to MDN, or for this matter, I would suggest you can go to W3 schools as well, because you need to get some layman language just in order to know what things are working behind it. Like W3 school will also work for it. So this is you guys need to study it on your own now. Like I've given it the glimpse, it's not on your own, but just do give it a read to get the taste of it so that you'll get to know, because this is something which is new for you. Like in other programming languages, for and for each were not there. So that's why I want you to invest like 5, 7, 10 extra minutes for these loop stuff. And simple for while are like the basic things. So don't spend much of the time there. Just to see the concepts and see the syntax here. Try to use that string template literals in the case of foreign so that you can get the values, or basically you know that objects are also iterable, but just like we iterate, like we get the values in array only at that place, right? So we can access the values just like we access the array, right? Okay, so this basic topic is done. So let's see something about the functions, right? Something about the functions. What is the time right now? We have 15 minutes at max. Okay, so let me tell you something basic about functions, right? Functions are basically heart of JavaScript. I like this is my favorite line, that functions are heart of JavaScript. Like if you will try to dive deep into functions now, you will be like wow, what a language is this? Well, like I'm a fan of this language. So everyone says that functions are heart of JavaScript, and at the same time, these are little confusing. little confusing because they are having like same kind of names and same kind of functionalities with the little changes inside them. So it is confusing as well, but it is like pretty great if you just get to know about the functionalities. So let me just tell you about few things or the few names which are present with us corresponding to the functions, right? Uh, so that if you want to read it by yourself or if you want to, I'll be explaining, of course I'll be explaining, but if in order you want to like know about how many things we are doing, like, so for that matter, first thing is just like a function definition, right? A function definition, and then we can move forward with the concept of how we call the function calling, and we'll be like then studying for parameterized functions, parameterized functions, and I would say after that function definition, parameterized, functional expression, functional expression. Also, we have anonymous function. Don't confuse yourself with the names. I'm just giving like a syllabus kind of thing to you guys that what all we'll be covering. And if you just want to give it a read about them, then you can try it this way. Anonymous function and okay, I'm categorizing it a little different, first class function, but it is one of the functions which I've already written about, right? First class functions. So those who will give it a read, they'll get to know that what basically are first class functions and what is the other name of first class function. And higher order functions. I know you guys are getting confused with this, but trust me, like this is like really pretty and this is really beautiful language wherein you can like use functions whatever the way you want. Higher order callback functions, like, oh, this is callback functions, I would say, and I guess this is enough higher order function. Yeah, these are like more than sufficient if you study all of them and if you get a grasp on all of these functions, types of functions which we are having, then like you will be master in JavaScript. I can assure you for that matter. Because if this is done, then the hosting part, the closures part, and the scope part, everything will be done like in a like pretty faster way, right? So these are basically the different categories of function which we'll be starting from the next class as well. So let's not start the topic today because I want to take the entire class on the function so that it is like I explained in a continuity. So just if you just want to give it a read from MDN or anything from any place on that matter, just try to read out these things. These are very important. Like all of these are important. Uh, and according to interview point of view, if I'll say these are the most important and these are the most asked. I won't say the most important. These are the most asked because they are having different names, right? So the name does not explain them about, right? So these are the most important according to interviews. Uh, so that's it. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll start from the next class only because uh, starting it this way and then again explaining it won't be good. So either we'll be doing it in the evening. We'll try to do some of them in the evening as well. Uh, Till that time, just give it a read and revise the things which we discussed above. And of course, do check out this for and for loop, for of, for in, and for each. Uh, Read something about objects if you want to. And I don't think so. There is like a big rocket science, right? JavaScript project. Okay, from now onwards, you will be having good amount of things to study and hands-on work, right? So we'll be starting with the functions in the evening class, so don't miss that. And I hope so things are clear with you guys, and I've like giving you a syllabus kind of stuff. So do read it out there, right? Things are clear for today's class. I guess things were clear, and it's not a beneficial thing to start for 10 minutes, so we can wind up early today, right? Is it clear? Things are clear? Yes, sir. अब मजा आ रहा है? JavaScript has started, so now your brains will be like, okay, now I need to include that, right? Okay, great. Yes, sir, great. Okay, so let's end this session for today. Not for today, for the morning one. We'll be starting with the functions only. We'll be a little fast. Do give it a read from your end also about the functions, and then we'll be learning about all the functions. And after that, we'll be like uh, give you second for important things, right? We'll be like try to cover most of the functions today itself. So don't miss the class and. of course, do the homework and practice things from your end, right? Okay, then I guess if nobody's having doubts, we can end this session and we can continue in the evening, right? The evening class can be like 5 or 10, 15 minutes longer because if it depends on continuity, I can't assure. It can be 10 minutes shorter as well, but it totally depends on continuity. So be on time and we'll start early. We'll start exact on time, right? Okay, so I'm stopping sharing my screen. I'll be like adding the code there. I am. This is lecture 8 or 7. This was lecture
It's
8,
lecture
right?
8.
Okay. Lecture 8 and git push. Okay, so I've updated the code. You guys can check it from GitHub as well. Someone was showing like array destructuring. Everything will be done. Don't worry. Yeah. And if you want to study, then you can study from MDN as well. I'll be trying to like covering most of the major concepts which we'll be using for making projects as well. So do give it a read as well, Shantanu, and we'll be covering the important stuff. Don't worry. Okay, so I've updated the code. OneNote link is there to you. You guys can give it a read, and then in the evening we'll be starting with the functions, right? Okay, so thank you for joining, guys.